everyone, Chivos here, bringing you another Hyundai A-League match review, which saw my team, Melbourne Victory, draw 1-1 with Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, what a game it was. There was a bit of controversy towards the end of the game, and actually towards the start of the game. So, the lineup we'll go through, as always. Vukovic in goal. Galloway, Ansell, Delpierre, and Geria were the back four. In the middle, we had Broxham, Bozanic, and Finkler. And then up top, we had Barbarousis, Payne, and Barisha. The subs for the game were Ingham, Gajewski, Macaronis, Howard, and Thomas. Now, Western Sydney Wanderers start the game at the top of the table, while Melbourne Victory are still within reach of the top of the table. Both sides need wins to help cement their places in the final series, and the match saw Lee Broxham make his 200th appearance for Melbourne Victory, and only the fourth player in Hyundai A-League history to make 200 appearances for one club. Now, the game started off quite well before we had a bit of a problem when Western Sydney Wanderers fans let off some flares. Now, we know flares, they're fancy, you know. They look good sometimes, but they do disturb matches. They do cause destruction, and it is a bit of a problem. So it didn't help proceedings. The pitch at the Etihad was smoky as you could barely see anything. And the problem now is the fans are being called into question by the FFA. They're thinking about fining Western Sydney Wanderers for the damages that have been caused at the Etihad, which is understandable. But I don't understand why you wouldn't try and figure out which fans did it and charge them. But the other thing is, they're also threatening to deduct points from Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, I do see this as a bit of a problem, just because of the fact the players and the club haven't caused this problem. Really, the ultras and the fans of the clubs have caused the problem, which I do see as a problem. But I think the way the FFA see it is, if the fans see their club being punished for what they've done, maybe they might act in, an actual proper manner instead of this hooliganism. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like a bit of hooliganism, but I do like football, and I don't want to see clubs being punished for things they didn't cause. Now, maybe if they do get deducted points, maybe the Western Sydney players will address the fans, the ultras, the RBB. Who knows? We'll figure it out, but, it didn't really help the cause of the game. But it did help Melbourne Victory, because a minute later, we had a corner. Barbarousis took the corner, found the head of Barisha at the front post. Barisha headed the ball towards the centre of the goal, and he did manage to beat Redmayne, and he also beat Dimas, who was on the line. He tried to stick his hand out to stop the ball from going into the back of the net. It still went in, and Barisha added to his tally his 14th goal of the season, 11 in 11 games, and equal with Bruno Fornaroli. Now, the game was quite entertaining. Melbourne Victory went into the break with a 1-0 lead. But the second half came around, and it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. Melbourne Victory started to hold off in the second half, and really what we did, we gave Western Sydney the possession, and we expected to just let them goal us and hold them out. Now, I did see this as a problem because we've had a leaky defence for quite a while. 4 weeks now. And the main problem with this is the fact that you could see they were going to score. By the hour mark, you could just see they were going to score. And as time ticked on, it wasn't a question of will they score. It was a question of when will they score and how. Now, Super Sub Santlab was subbed on. I'll tell you what, he made an impact. So we'll go through it here. The pressure was getting to Melbourne Victory, and conceding was imminent. You could see it was going to happen, like I've said. Super Sub Brandon Santalab scored in the 89th minute. A lovely finish from the left-hand side of the goal. So him curl an effort into the top right corner, I do believe. And he did beat Vukovic, which Vukovic had a fantastic game. He kept Melbourne Victory in that game for so long. It wasn't enough, though. Santalab, I think Western Sydney haven't lost a game that Santalab's featured in. He's featured in 12 games. They've won 9 and drawn 3, lost 0. So Santalab is a bit of a lucky charm for Western Sydney. He proved again this weekend that he can do a job for them. So the other question we have to do though, Vukovic, fantastic save before the end of the game. But the problem is it did see a goal line scuffle between both sides. Tempers flared, and you could see something was going to happen. Alberto, well, I don't know how to say this. It's questionable. Alberto, it looks like a slap. It looks like he's hit Borussia in the face. And the referee's seen it. He's been red carded, sent off straight away now. It was a bit of a problem. You know, I don't like seeing this type of rough conduct in football. But if you're going to slap someone, you deserve a red card. Off you go. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the thing that caused this was nothing. Borussia stood over Topor Stanley as he tried to get up. And, you know, both guys reacted. And it's what happens, you know. Tempers flare. I understand. It's 1-1. You're both trying to grab a point. But I just don't understand. I don't. Alberto, think a bit. Now, Gajewski did also receive a yellow card in this predicament. It's understandable. He was in the middle of it. So was Borussia. So was everyone else. But Gajewski and Alberto were the two main players who were really pointed out by the referee. So, understandable. We couldn't grab a late winner. Either could Western Sydney. It ended up in a 1-1 draw. And it wasn't too bad. But I'll read my review for you now. Now, a late goal saw Western Sydney Wanderers managed to grab a point and stay at the top of the table. Melbourne Victory still have a leaky defence, which does worry me going into the end of the season. And the thing I see is we are conceding too many goals in crucial parts of games. The first half an hour and the last 15 minutes. Way too many goals conceded. But what am I to say? Now, the way I see this, Kevin Muscat needs to go back to the training ground, work on this defence, because if we're playing like this in the final series, we're not going to get anywhere. Alright? We can't concede just terrible goals. We can't just have a lapse of concentration every now and then. We need to focus from kickoff to the final whistle and everywhere in between. So, I think the training ground, we need to focus on this. But, what can you do? Now, Vukovic, fantastic. Man of the match of a Melbourne Victory point of view. For Western Sydney, I couldn't really tell you who's the man of the match. They had quite a few outstanding players, but Santalab didn't play that long, but he did what he does best, and he scored a goal. So Santalab could have been given it. Who knows? But on the other hand, poor performances. Barbarouses. He's picked up the man of the match award for like the last 4 weeks in a row. And the main problem I see with Barbarouses, he doesn't do anything towards the start of the game. He normally only makes an impact towards the end of the game, in the last 15 minutes, where people start getting tired. Now, I know he did assist Borussia's goal from a corner, but he did have a very quiet game. And also, Connor Payne, who was replacing Calfalla for this weekend, very, very quiet on the left-hand side. So, the wingers didn't have the impact we needed. That also did just produce a lack of goals. But back to the drawing board, work on the defence, and hopefully we can pick up a win next weekend. But that's my match review for the Melbourne Victory game. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe to see more Melbourne Victory content. And hopefully I catch you guys on another video.